blessed community in the state of Washington. And I want to thank you for bringing your leadership to our state. This community has done so much to grow the future of our state. Starting with George Washington, who founded, son of a slave, who founded Centralia in 1875. And this community's been building this state ever since. Going down to Mayor Harrell, who's doing some great work on housing. Mayor Woodard in Tacoma in the City of Destiny. I was with a woman 2 days ago in Tri-Cities named Shawnee Fitzgerald, who runs a group called Women of Wisdom. Now that's all women, I want to make that clear, obviously. But she runs a group that's helping us build electric charging stations so people in the Black community and disproportionately impacted communities can get access to electric cars, electric charging. Everybody ought to have fair access to this new technology. This not just the wealthy folks in the state of Washington. She's leading an effort like that. The leadership we're getting from this community is so great. With so many of our great legislators, I want to thank you for pushing the ball. And you know, we're making progress. I'm glad we're the first state in the country to have an Office of Equity so that we can really bring equity to the state of Washington. I'm glad that we've established together an independent investigatory agency. So when there is violence between law enforcement and citizens, we've got an independent investigatory system that can really find out what happened in those situations. And this year, I hope that you're going to pass our bill that will create an independent prosecutorial system so we can have an independent decision to determine whether there should be a prosecution when there's violence between law enforcement and citizens. I hope you're going to get this. We've done such great efforts in the education of our young people because of this community. With the increase of early child education, it is not right that we still have kids coming to kindergarten not ready for kindergarten. That's right. And we got to have every kid who needs it have early child education. And I want to thank you for helping us pass the biggest increases of early child education. We got to get these kids when they're 3 and 4, so they don't have to go to the Walla Walla Penitentiary when they're 34. That's what we ought to be doing, instead of depending just on law enforcement to deal with crime in our blessed community. And we're doing that. By the way, I want to mention something. We have made big progress in early child education because we have found a way to finance it. We need to pay teachers, right? We got to pay them a living wage of doing this work, including childcare. We have a way to do this, which is the capital gains tax. You know, we shouldn't be putting the tax burden on working people. We ought to do what we're doing to the capital gains tax to have some of the richer families, very few number, that can help finance early child education. We got to make sure that we continue early child education improvements in the state of Washington. We know how important this is. And we've got to continue our effort so that Black communities, Hispanic communities, communities that are not disproportionately infected by pollution. You know, we got an epidemic of asthma in our kids who are living next to the freeway, who are living next to the smokestacks, are the one who are breathing the pollution. That's right. It's communities of color, predominantly, frankly, that are breathing pollution. And we got to give them clean air to breathe. And I'm glad we have a bill to do that called the Climate Commitment Act, which is a bill to limit the amount of pollution so kids don't have to breathe this stuff. And take the money from the polluters and plow that back into these communities. And we're doing that. I was up at Beacon Hill, which has some disproportionate levels of pollution, a few months ago, and I saw a new monitoring system so we can figure out where the pollution is and do something about it. I was in the Highline School District, which has a tremendously diverse student body, where we got electric school buses, so those kids don't have to breathe diesel smoke, they don't have to breathe any smoke. So we got to take care of our kids' lungs, and we're doing this through this Climate Commitment Act, which is doing such great work. So I want to thank you for being here to share your stories to keep our state on the upward path. We are upward. I want to thank you for what you've done. I want to thank you for being a partner with you in getting this done. And I'm proud of some of the work that we've done together. I'm proud that we have some improvements in police accountability to have better relationships between law enforcement and our citizens. And I want to thank you for the advice you've given me. I think it's been productive. I got to harken back to my dad one time. He was a teacher and coach at Garfield High School. He was a bulldog. Yes. We love all the bulldogs. We love the Pasco Bulldogs. We love all bulldogs. One time I wasn't doing my homework. He was having practice at Garfield High School, and I was shooting some shots on a Saturday morning at his practice instead of doing homework. And he said, "Son, you're just goofing off. You're not doing your homework. I don't think you're ever going to make anything out of yourself." And I looked at him, I said, "Dad, with all due respect, one of these days, I'm going to be governor of the best state in the United States with the black community building Washington State. Let's keep doing this. Go Bulldogs. Let's keep the evergreen state going." Congratulations. Thanks for being here. I've been asked if I could take some gentle questions. Easy criticisms. I'm happy to do that. If anybody's got some easy questions, yes. Tell me your name.
Oh, hi. My name is Vanessa. My name is Vanessa. I'm the student body president of Frederick High School.
At which one?
Frederick High School.
All right.
Go Eagles.
Congratulations.
My question is, increasing schools to prison pipeline is black and brown. Do we have more programs to end this pipeline?
Yes, the question was, how do we end the schools to prison pipeline? We got to do a lot of things, not one thing. We got to do a whole bunch of things. Again, starting with early child education. Look, when you have a kid that is living in poverty, hasn't had a home that's been stable for them, doesn't have a lot of support system, it's not a surprise that people who live in those conditions have a higher rate of falling off the legal bandwagon. So we got to get these kids early so they're ready for kindergarten. You don't end up dropping out of school and going the wrong way. So that's number one, get the kids as soon as humanly possible. Second, we've got to give access to people to higher education so that you can afford to go to college if you want to go to college. And I'm proud to tell you that we actually have the best financial aid package in the United States. I'm very proud of that. We're just listed as #1 in the country as far as financial aid. So everybody has an access. But we need to help young people get careers even if they don't want to go to college. There's all kinds of great careers. And those kids are just as important, their futures are just as bright, and their careers are just as productive even if you don't go to college. So we got to boost our apprenticeship programs so kids can get into the trades, including all kinds of high-tech manufacturing proposals like that. So we got to increase the apprenticeship programs. Third, for those who are in our Department of Corrections, we need to really prepare them for success after they come out of our correctional system. We got to give them. You got to make sure that when you're in custody, you've got vocational training, you have higher education, you have a way to deal with your chemical problems if you have some chemical problems. And we're trying to reorient our correctional system to do that kind of thing. So when you come out, you don't just go back in. Now it's a compassionate thing to do, but it's also a safe thing to do to reduce crime. It's a crime fighting technique. So we're trying to reorient our correctional system to do that kind of rehabilitation in that regard. So there's several things we need to do. Now obviously we got to tackle this drug epidemic we have too. We're very concerned about the fentanyl crisis. We got to give people education. We have a bill going through the legislature that will increase education in our school system. It will increase the treatment facilities so you can get treatment. It will make sure we get Narcan so we can save people's lives if they get affected by fentanyl. This is a terrible scourge for young people. So there's 4 or 5 things we should do, but tell me what you think we should do. I'm asking the smartest person here that question. What do you think?
I'm a part of this work program called Creative Justice, and they're trying to combat the smoke to prison pipeline by giving young students like jobs that they can work at, like after school, some activities, and we're right next to, I believe it's a juvenile correction center. So it's like right after that, if kids want to like try to make a life for themselves or get back into school, we try to help them in other ways. We have like youth podcasts. We have a youth cafe that just opened up. So it's like giving kids an opportunities to kind of restart after they made a mistake, or if they want to try to correct their lives, just like keep doing it.
That's awesome. Okay, so when I'm governor, I have the best job in the world. And one of my delights is if I meet somebody who's really inspirational, I can take off my pin. This is the governor's pin. I can declare them the Washingtonian of the day. And there's only one Washingtonian of the day. And because of her inspirational message, today the Washingtonian of the day is Duante Vanessa, right here. Okay, we got one more question. Who's got an easy question? Yeah.
All right. Governor Inslee, I want to thank you for moving forward the Washington community reinvestment to address the damages of war on drugs in our communities, particularly black communities. My question is, how do we guarantee or that reparative policies such as this one to bring reparations where harm is done in the black community actually reaches the community and does not get diluted and sent to many different, other places and spaces?
Well, it's a very important question because you want to make sure where the rubber meets the road, the job gets done. And our Department of Commerce will be basically making sure that all the data of where this is going, where this money is going, and how it's going. It'll all be transparent. And everybody's going to need to look at that and make sure that it's being invested wisely and appropriately. And that's going to be a monthly thing. This won't start for a few months, I don't think. But you just got to make sure that our Department of Commerce is getting everybody here the information they want so that that can be evaluated. There's every reason to believe we can do that, and I know you're going to be on it. So thanks a million. Okay, one more question, yeah.
So, Governor, good to see you. I just want to point out to you, this is not a question, this is a comment. The situation with the African American community in Washington State is dire. The net worth that we enjoy is significantly less than the net worth of Caucasian folks. But it is much worse than you might think. And net worth relates to a lot. Educational opportunities, medical stuff, the environmental justice issues you're talking about, that sort of thing. So from 2019, and I don't think this has changed much, in King County and Snohomish County, the average net worth of a Caucasian individual is $500,000. The average net worth of an African American individual or family is $23,000. That is an emergency. And so I say this to simply tell you that it is important that you focus on addressing that net worth gap through whatever means is necessary. Thank you.
It's something I'm acutely aware of, and it's the reason, that fact is a reason that I fought for a tax structure that is fairer for the black community. It's the reason I fought for early childhood education. It's the reason we fought for the Community Reinvestment Act. It's the reason we fought for a higher minimum wage. It's the reason we fought for long-term care programs so people can get health care. It's the reason we got Obamacare. Thank you, Barack Obama, for healthcare funding. All of those things together are aimed in the right direction. But we gotta pedal faster. I get your message. I gotta go pedal and do some work. Good to hear from you.